All right, welcome everybody to the playoff edition of Four Down the Field podcast. I'm your host, Rob Young Bob Anderson, with my co-host, Jeremy J. Dub Whalen, restoring the roar here tonight. I haven't seen you in a little while, Jeremy, on the podcast. You indeed are restoring the roar.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. You can see my mess behind me, but I had to dig this thing out of my parents' house.
Old school.
Classic Detroit Lions throwback corduroy hat back in the day. Look at
I
this
like it.
thing.
I like it.
But yep, we're here to talk football.
Right.
Congratulations on your victory.
Oh, thank you, sir. Before we move on, are those pins in the hat? What do you
Oh my
have there?
god, yeah. So this is an old Lions pin. So yeah, I wore this hat as a kid. And then this one was the 75th NFL season, which was the 1994 season. Then I
There
had
you
a
go.
pin here for the Lions' 60th season, but my dad snagged that one or
Okay.
took it off this hat. I don't know. So,
Nice. I like the throwback there. So
yep.
all right. Yep. Thank you for the congratulations on last week's matchup. Yeah, we'll go right into it. I did get the best of Shane in large part to Jared Goff, almost breaking Lamar Jackson's, or I'm sorry, not Lamar, uh, Allen's all-time performance the week prior. Yeah, Goff just bottom line was the Lions couldn't throw the football. We were constantly down, and Buffalo kept giving the Lions those dink and ducks for, 15 yards here, 10 yards there, and they just added up. And Goff did just what he normally does. Like he's just gonna find that open guy, and he made it happen for me. But yeah, congratulations to Shane for a good year. Being full transparent, Jeremy, I did message Shane right before the 4 o'clock games, and I was just telling him like I like your team. I mean, he had a good week. I mean, I honestly thought if he got by me, he had a pretty decent shot against Jeff, who he just recently beat, if I am not mistaken. I think Shane's projected for a pretty good week this week. Although he's not in the playoffs anymore, I think he was projected for a high 130s. So yeah, congrats to him. He had a good roster, wide receiver loaded. They all showed out for him. Unfortunately, though, nobody else really did for him, and that was pretty much the deciding factor. So, thank you, Jared Goff. You're going to need to do stuff like that moving forward for the Lions without Montgomery. Um, but yeah,
Mhm.
it was a huge win, and I get my rematch with Jeff. Uh, Earlier in the year, we played once, and he beat me by 1 point. So I'm hoping that can maybe get over that hump. But it's going to be a tall mountain to climb. I'm not going to lie to you about that. So uh, moving on.
Absolutely.
Jeff took down Adam. I don't know. What do you have to say about Jeff's team? I mean, 131 seems like a down week for him, but I mean, it's still a solid week. He's just been crushing people. Um, Adam, Brock Purdy only giving him 4 points. That was a huge blow on Thursday night for him in the playoffs. I mean,
Yep.
that's unfortunate. I don't think he had Gino on his bench. Yeah. He only got him 4.4 points. So yeah, just quarterback was his issue pretty much all year. I mean, Purdy is, banger or boomer bust, I should say. But yeah, I mean, Jeff's just, I mean, I think everybody picked Jeff I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm pretty confident everybody thought Jeff would win this one. But yeah, congrats to Adam. I mean, his roster was pretty decent. Pacheco was a big. Uh, he took a big hit when Pacheco got out. Metcalf was banged up. Pickens didn't play in this matchup. It was a rough year for Adam at times, but ultimately he hung on to the eighth seed. He gave it his best, but Jeff Goliath did what he had to do to move on.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I can't wait for your guys' matchup. Obviously, we'll address that a little bit more, but just a great Final Four with you and Jeff in one, and Jack and Drew in another. So, yeah, you want to analyze the other two games?
Yeah, let's go into it. Jim, 144 in a playoff matchup, and unfortunately just wasn't enough. I mean, there was a few chances in that Minnesota game on Monday night with Darnold. Maybe he could have thrown a pass to Jones. I mean, I think that's pretty much all it would have taken for him to overcome that
Yep,
comeback.
12 point.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a 10-point loss. I mean, Jack's been he's been putting up points lately. His team's ready to go. But yeah, Jim, 42 points with Devontae, Aaron Jones. I mean, his team showed up. He just needed one or two more big plays, and he would have probably overcame that. But Jack just trying to take down a ship here. Congrats to Jim though. Good year. He tried to
Yep.
battle back. It just is tough. This league's been tough. It's been very wide open. I mean, like I think a lot of the teams finished 7-7 or better. So I mean, that just kind of goes to show the competitive league this year. And uh, Jack getting it done. Bird kind of same story, Jeremy. He got just
Yep.
under 145 against Drew. I think Drew was sweating a little bit.
Oh
In
yeah.
large part, Lamar Jackson got it done for him. Um, I know this personally because Derrick Henry didn't do jack squat. He had the lowest fantasy day this year on the first round for me, and I overcame that thankfully. But yeah, Lamar, huge day, 5 touchdowns, just under 300 yards. Everybody else kind of had a solid day. I mean, no one like kind of boomed for him. But yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson
Right.
getting it done for him.
Yeah,
Lamar,
and
I
then
thought chokes
Bird.
in the playoffs. Apparently, that's only the NFL playoffs, though, Jeremy, not the fantasy one. So as long as it's the
No.
regular season, I think Drew might be okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Yeah, Bird just he had, Kenneth Walker got injured and then he started, whatever their third string running back was in Seattle.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a tough one.
he was in a tough spot there. I mean, running backs, we mentioned it earlier in the year, they're just at a premium. I mean, you can speak on that. I know that you were wishing
Ah,
you got a running back. I mean, I'm not throwing stones. I'm just making a
no,
point
you're
that,
right.
running backs were hard to get. I mean, if you're scrambling for running backs and it's just hard to make up that ground. So, but yeah, Drew with another impressive win. I mean, 156. I can't wait for Drew and Jack's matchup. It's going to be fun to watch.
Oh, I
But
know.
yeah, why don't we just go right into that one? That's a good segue. Let's go into Drew and Jack's matchup here, Jeremy. So Drew is the higher seed, so he got the 3-point advantage. And in a matchup like this, it might be the difference. I mean, they're projected for relatively the same amount of points. They both have stellar quarterbacks. They both have pretty solid running backs. I mean, just down their rosters. I mean, it's a solid lineup on each one. They both think they have a championship contender here, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see. I guess I'll start with this, Jeremy. So Lamar Jackson. So what I've been doing lately in the last maybe 4 or 5 weeks is I just have going through and just kind of comparing their counterparts. So Lamar Jackson against Pittsburgh at home or Josh Allen against New England. I'm going Josh Allen in that one. I think he's going to put up the better fantasy day. James Conner
No
at
doubt.
James Conner at Carolina, Joe Mixon at Kansas City. I'm going to go Conner in that one, so that gives me 2 up for Jack.
Yep.
Barkley at
Yep.
Washington or Bucky Irving.
Avi.
You going to go Bucky on that one?
Yes. No, I said obviously it's Barkley in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah,
Although Bucky had a breakout game for Drew a couple weeks ago, but yeah, Barkley's number one running back, so for sure, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just kind of interesting. I mean, like Washington, it's a huge game for them. I'm curious to see, but yeah, Barkley's going to get his, so it's kind of hard to go against him there. Lamb against London. London is going to give up against the Giants, but it's going to be Michael Penix starting his first NFL start. Uh, yeah, it's I'm going CD. So that's four players I favor for Jack. Addison against Seattle or Flowers against Pittsburgh. I want to go Addison, but I am going to go Addison. But I don't love it though because I think the weather out in Seattle is not supposed to be that good. Unfortunately for me, I got
Yeah.
JJ. McBride or Bowers. I'm going McBride.
Yeah, toss
Uh,
up.
yeah, Madison or Myers. I'll go Madison there.
Wow. Jack
Uh,
getting the or who the hell is that? That is Jack. He's getting my boy Alexander Madison. I must have cut him at some point.
yeah, I think looking at this, I'm wondering if anyone's going to move anybody else in. I don't think so. I think these are the rosters that they're going to throw out there. Yeah, It's gonna be a tight one, Jeremy. I think whoever has the player that can go off might win this one, but you can't really predict that. I'm gonna go with Jack here. Sorry, Drew. I mean, I do like Jack's roster a little bit more than yours this week, but you definitely it's gonna be so close. It's gonna be a coin flip. It's just like I said, it's going to come down to who has the player go off, and it might be the quarterback positions who can put up 40. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Where do you go with this one, though?
Oh, it's obvious it'll be Jack. Like I said, Drew's team's been a fraud all year. But honestly, I was gonna say by the time we got to wide receiver two, Jack had already, had a four-player advantage. I think that is going to be one of the keys. Is really his. If you look at the quarterback, his two running backs and his top receiver, he's got them. And I think the rest of the positions could be coin flips.
Yeah,
Drew got a respectable 10 points out of Dicker. Dicker sounds like a player that would be on Drew's team. So good move there. Uh, Jack is lucky that Moody, we don't have negative points for field goal kickers because he could miss a few this week. But
I want to change that. We should have negative points for missed field goals.
yes, we need to get
It's
that
a
going
it's a
immediately.
huge dynamic, and it puts more emphasis on the position. So
I agree. But no, I would say both of these guys projected in the 140s. This is going to be a great matchup. It reminds me of sort of the main song of Beauty and the Beast. It's a song as old as time, Beauty and the Beast. So next
yeah,
week maybe we can get the winner on, and they can finish that for us and
yeah.
practice singing that Disney song.
Yeah. And I know Jack, I think, has a record of 10-3 against Drew straight up. In the league. So I mean, obviously, he has Drew's number or his ass. Uh, you know, you know how Jack likes to say things like that. You know, he's very descriptive on what he does to Drew. I believe it's Wednesday or Thursday, and it could be any night of the week. He's very descriptive on what he does to Drew. I wish he was on the pod so he could tell us what he plans on doing. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack here. It's gonna be a great matchup, and whoever wins this will be a worthy championship contender against either myself or Jeff. So let's go into that one. I mean, obviously Jeff is Jeff. He's been tearing it up all year. I think he's been number one in my power rankings since like week 3 or 4. I can't quite
Hmm.
remember, but the point is,
Hmm.
he's just been crushing people. And I know right now, excuse me, he doesn't have a kicker in there. He's been doing that, I think, for like the last month and a half. And honestly, it's a good strategy. I mean, he's kind of waiting to see maybe if certain players on these teams are going to sit out, maybe making them more valuable, better chance of them having a good fantasy day. And it also takes away from opponents like myself who might have been looking for another wide receiver or another player I could throw into my lineup. So, you know, so he's going to be projected most likely for about 141 or so. So that's going to be about 15 points as of right now. I'm not set on my roster just yet. But let's go through it just how we did before. Hurts at Washington or Golf at Chicago. I think it's kind of a toss up, honestly. I'm curious to see how the Lions are going to look against Chicago, but Chicago is very good against quarterbacks when it comes to fantasy. They're very good against wide receivers, but you can run the ball. So the Lions might just try to pound it. I'm hoping the play action's there, and I hope Golf can capitalize. But I'll say a slight edge to Jalen Hurts there. Jonathan Taylor at Tennessee or playing Tennessee or Bijan. I'm going Bijan against those lowly Giants. Henry against Pitt. Achan against San Francisco. Achan's going to break his leg. I'm going Henry. Uh,
Yep.
as of right now, I have Debo in there. I do not want to play Debo. Most likely, what I'm going to probably do is I'm probably going to slide Patrick up in there and hopefully have a stack that kind of pays out for me because I do need.
Oh,
I
you
just
dirty
need
dog.
I need something, you know. I mean, just like a typical lineup, I don't think will be enough to take Jeff down. I'm gonna need, I think, that stack and hopefully a touchdown with a good day for Patrick. But I will go Nico as of right now, no matter who I put in that spot. Jefferson against Higgins. That's tough, man. Higgins has been balling out, but I got to go with JJ. I made that trade for
Oh,
this
that's not
moment.
a tough one. That's an easy
Well,
one. You're picking
the,
JJ.
the weather I think might be bad though. We'll have to wait and see on that, but that's what I was told. As of right now, in Joku, I don't know if he's going to play. I'm going to find out Sunday. Either way, I'm going to go with my tight end, whoever that may be. Coleman or
Rob, real
Pollard.
quick. Sorry. Uh, Super Njoku. When did you change your name this week? Did you power up?
Yeah, I powered up. I'm going to need it for this matchup, Jeremy.
Yep.
He did ascend to the next level. I googled a black Super Saiyan for my logo. That
Hell
is
yeah.
Super Njoku right there. He's going to take down um, the White Walker King himself, hopefully.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I can keep going down. I like the Colts defense more than Green Bay, even though Green Bay is a good matchup there.
Mm-hmm.
Boswell's the top kicker in the league. I like Boswell no matter who he picks. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Coleman against New England, hopefully can get the job done. If it's not Pollard, he's got Tajay Spears if Pollard can't go. So Jeff's looking pretty good here. I am gonna pick Jeff. Uh, I'd probably pick Jeff against anybody at this point in time. I'm surely not going to pick with my heart. Upsets do happen.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going to go with Jeff in this one. I refuse to bend the knee though, as I'm just not going to bow down to anybody. But yeah, Jeff's just too powerful. This is truly David versus Goliath in this moment. But you know what? David sometimes wins, Jeremy. So
Well,
let's go Super and Joku.
let's go. You did a great synopsis there. I do. I would. Yeah, I hate Debo Samuel, really, at this point in fantasy. Jerry Rice, the greatest receiver in NFL history, and obviously the 49ers history, pretty much calling him out. You can't be fucking hitting the kicker like a dick a few weeks ago and then dropping easy touchdowns. So, anyway, yeah, you got to bench him. I like the stack idea. Um, I'm going to pick you in the upset. I think the Lions is really the pivotal matchup for you. So I'm thinking their game plan is it's going to be a Craig Reynolds type of game. I don't know that that necessarily equals fantasy production,
Fair.
but
I
I
do
could
think he
see
might get in the end zone though. He might have like
he
30 or
could,
40. He might get
he
10
could,
points, you know.
but PPR, and you know what? When we're getting in the red zone, obviously Monty was kind of the guy. I could see Tim Patrick getting a couple of those touches. So yeah,
Yeah.
I say that to say I'd like that bench and Debo playing Tim Patrick.
Yeah, I originally had that. I just kind of moved some pieces around. That's what I was looking at right before we went live here. That's what I was telling you to hold on. I want to look at something, but yeah, you kind of hit it though. Montgomery going down last week really, really hurts my team. If I had him against Chicago this week, I actually would like my chance for an upset. But without him, I feel like I'm just trying to put the pieces together. And fortunately, the puzzle might not fit. So, but yeah, I mean, there's ways that I can pull this off. Anything can happen. But Jeff's just been so dominant. I will say my team, no matter what my roster has been like the last 3 weeks, I've scored 147 in weeks 13 and 14. Both of those were losses, and I got 140 last week. So my team is responding right now. I gave them the inches speech. I've given them the Troy speech. I'm trying to be a motivator. And I'm gonna need to motivate them one more time before
Well,
going hopefully to the championship. But yeah,
Rob,
bend the knee. What a great name. He's always been consistent with it. Why change it? It's such a
yes,
good name. So
it is, and just his icon, um,
it's just
the Night
perfect.
King. I mean, yeah,
It's
just.
it's perfect.
But Rob, hopefully you told Jonathan Taylor hang on to the football. It could have cost me a fantasy
Oh God.
playoff loss. Rob, I see your running backs having big days. I think for you, the good thing is you got two top running backs. And honestly, Jeff does too, but fuck Achan, basically, is kind of how I
He's
feel.
due for
So
an injury. I'm
he's due
telling you.
for,
It's been
maybe
like 3 weeks.
him and Tua could just go out. No offense to Tua, take your money and be done. And but yeah, by the way, Jeff, I gotta say, great job saving that group meet bet. I was thinking about something with Tua. I thought I actually had a bet with Jim. Apparently, it was with you, but well played, sir. Now, I don't wish the worst for Tua, but yeah, him and Achan could just not play again.
Yeah, that Montgomery injury just really sucks, man. Obviously, as Lions fans, I mean, honestly, when I got the notification for Montgomery, I didn't even think fantasy. I was just thinking immediately, Lions Super Bowl
I
run.
knew he would rise again.
But
Rob,
there he is,
fucking
baby, the bobblehead. Nice.
fucking Demont, baby.
I need
David
him.
Montgomery avoiding surgery. It's like when Aiden Hutchinson. There's been several Lions injuries where it's like, oh, that guy will be back. We have a strong team. We're winning the fucking Super Bowl, baby. All the haters this week. Fuck it. We lost to Buffalo. And honestly, we all watched that game. And I'm sure Jim and well, I did talk to Jim, but Jim and Jack, I'm sure, just had a great time. And what are you going to do? Buffalo basically attacked their running backs, attacked our linebackers, and
it was
they we couldn't fucking stop it. And
it was a great game plan. It really was.
yeah, Buffalo was up basically 14 plus points most of the game. Obviously, we closed it late, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
tough losing McNeil
it was,
and
man.
Davis.
It's
That
just
that
it's been
yeah,
ridiculous. I mean, it's become I don't want to say comical, but I'm not gonna lie. Sunday when we had like our third or fourth injury in the second half, I just kind of giggled a little bit. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I don't think there's ever been a injury plague on a championship contending team like we're seeing this year with Detroit. It's unfortunate to say the least. So, but I'm confident
yeah.
that they're going to bounce back. They got Campbell. I you're not ever going to count this team out. I do think that they win out. I think they are going to get the one seed. Um, but yeah, hopefully that bye week we can just get a little bit healthier before we start the playoff push, and the offense is going to have to deliver. Let's go Goff. Let's go Gibbs. People make plays, baby. Gotta have it. Gotta
They
have it.
just need 2 home games at Ford Field. They're not losing.
That's what I said. If they get home field, they're good.
The
So
Lions fans will help carry them. And Dan Campbell's not afraid to throw 3 fucking tight ends out there and just kind of run the ball. So you know, and
do
they're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be a tough game versus the Bears because all they got players too that are trying to
yeah.
show that they can still play
If they
football.
had
But
it just felt like a Monty game though. It's a revenge game against the Bears. It's gonna
100%,
be, I had the feeling Monty probably would have had a very good fantasy day. So for the Lions' sake, I hope Gibbs can get it done. I hope the Lions get it done.
Craig,
So yeah, Craig. I mean,
and
honestly,
then who's
I'm not ruling out throwing Craig into my flex. We'll see how it goes. I mean, like I said, I'm going for the boom players. You know what I'm saying? Who do I think is gonna? It only comes down to one week. I don't care about the projections. I mean, Craig Reynolds could get in the end zone once. Hell, he could get in there twice for all we know. You just never know.
he's
Someone's got
poised for a
to.
big game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. But yeah, Jeff, good luck, man. I always say that if I lose to somebody in the playoffs, I want them to win, and that's no different here. So good
Rob,
luck, my
go,
friend.
go watch the Hard Knocks with the Lions where they talk about the Craig Reynolds episode
I'm
years
trying to
ago.
remember.
I don't know. They just talk about his heart and basically why they have to keep him on the team because he's exactly the type of player that they need. Because
Reward
I
him,
forget,
reward him with playing time and goal line touches, baby.
fuck yeah. And the other guy that might play is I forget the rookie's name that plays linebacker and special teams.
Oh, Vaki.
Yeah, so maybe he'll play. But I bet you Craig Reynolds, there is 10 or so carries at least that have to get eaten up because it's not like they're going
Well,
to give Gibbs 30 carries.
I was
So
just I was just gonna say the same thing. I mean, Kirk Reynolds is gonna be a part of the game plan. I mean, that's what I'm
100%.
saying. Like
He's a
five
good
points,
player.
5 points for projection. I think that
That's
is
low as
low.
hell.
That's
He
low. I
should
mean, the
be
Lions.
projected to get 10 because he's going to get,
Yeah,
he's going to get a touchdown, a couple touchdown opportunities. He'll probably catch a couple balls. He's going to get 10 touches at least, I think.
it's
Maybe
very
12.
possible. I can't throw Valdez Scantling out there because you got Spencer Rattler now at quarterback. Debo, we already touched on. Demario Douglas, I don't feel comfortable throwing him out there. So yeah, it's really going to be,
God
do I
no.
feel like playing probably Reynolds or Keon Coleman? That's probably what it's going to come down to. Or
Rob,
you know,
live
if
on the air. I see you've adjusted your lineup.
yeah,
You
I mean, I'm a
bench
man of my
bench
word.
Debo.
I'm a man of my word. I am waiting to see about Njoku. If Njoku is if he's going to be active, I don't know if I'm going to replace him or replace Henry with him, Hunter Henry that is, or I might just play two tight ends. I don't know because I do like both Henry and Njoku, but yeah, the bottom line is like I said, I'm trying to fit pieces to the puzzle, and I don't know if the pieces are gonna fit. So all I can do is give my best effort. So
Yep.
and then
Well,
next week, if I am fortunate to get there, anything can happen any given Sunday. So,
exactly. I can't
but
believe it.
but
We're in
let's
the
so who's your favorite? Who's your favorite to win it all right now, though?
in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff by far.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but I do think, well, obviously the projections are Jack and Drew are hot, so that's. I just love the matchups. It's just two best friends basically playing each other in both the games. But
Uh,
I got to go with Jeff just because he's been running the table all year.
you got to go with Jeff until you don't see it.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. We will be doing one more pod next week. It's gonna be Christmas week though, so we'll get together. We'll talk about it. It might be a
Yes.
random time on a random day, but we have to do a championship pod. So, yep. Good luck to everybody, and congrats to everybody who did make the
Yes.
playoffs. That's gonna wrap up this week on 40 on the Field podcast.
Love ya.
Love you, J Dub.